I've had a lot of people say that they struggle to hit their protein goal. And I think by now we all know how important that is, especially for body recomposition, but just for longevity. We need muscle. Muscle is our metabolic currency. And a lot of people still, even though we know we need it, still struggle to hit that goal. Majority of the women that I work with, when they start working with me, a lot of them are just significantly under eating their protein needs, by a mile. So, it's obviously going to take a minute you can't go from 0 to 100 overnight. It just takes a while to adjust to increasing your protein intake. But there's two tips I can give you when it comes to consuming protein. If you struggle to hit that goal, I hear a couple of things. I hear, can't hit my protein goal because I'm full. I can't eat that much protein. It's too much protein. And I also hear, it's a struggle to stay in a calorie deficit and hit my protein goal because I'm always going over my fat or my carbs, So especially when you're in a calorie deficit, one thing you have to really be mindful of are the protein sources. Okay, so the source of protein needs to be a lean protein. So that's your chicken, your white fish, shrimp, tuna is really good, egg whites instead of your whole egg. You can do like an egg and then add egg whites just to cut back on your fat because you want the protein. But when you're consuming proteins that have a higher fat content, you're going to have a whole lot more calories than if you were to choose a leaner protein source. So you want to try to get that protein to calorie ratio. You want higher protein, lower calorie, especially when you are aiming for a calorie deficit. So that's one big piece. What is your protein source? What are you reaching for? Are you reaching for nuts, peanut butter? Can you swap out like a leaner ground beef or use ground turkey instead of ground beef? Can you do egg whites instead of eggs? Those things will help you to really cut out some of the calories that are coming from the fat and help you to reach your protein goal a little easier in that deficit. Obviously, if you're not dairy free, if you can tolerate raw dairy or, really quality dairy sources, a low-fat cottage cheese is a great source of protein that is low in calories. And then like a non-fat Greek yogurt, plain Greek yogurt. Those are also good sources of protein. So if you can tolerate dairy, those would be two other good options to add in. And then, of course, supplementing with a protein powder, a good quality protein powder is always an option if you need it. 1-to-1 ratio, I saved that in a reel. You're welcome to go back and look at that. Just really good for like packaged foods, especially, because when you think about, a lot of times people want to grab like a protein bar thinking that that's going to help them reach their protein goal. And while a lot of times it probably does have a lot of protein in it, they can pack 20 grams of protein in a bar or whatnot, it's going to come with a significant amount of calories a lot of times. So, you just have to weigh out whether that is a good option, a good quality protein source while you're in a deficit. And a lot of times, to get 20 grams of protein for 300 calories is not a great option. There's a better choice. Okay, and the second tip is pretty simple and straightforward. Just think protein first. If you just will eat your protein first, then it won't be so hard to hit your protein goal because more than likely you're just filling up on everything else. If you say, I can't hit my protein goal because it's too much, I can't eat that much protein, well, more than likely you can eat 4 ounces of chicken, but it's everything else that you're filling up on first. especially, you know, if you're eating a lot of carbs. So typically, if you can think protein first, then you'll feel full and satisfied, and you know, you'll hit your protein goal, and then you can kind of fill in the gaps. But generally speaking, it's not that hard to hit your protein goal if you just